Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, guess we'll start now.
Well, from his car, not his car apparently.
Y'all need anything before we start?
No, we're good.
All good.
All right, y'all have fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Jamie just being ultra professional.
What a guy.
All right. I don't know.
Guy named Jamie? His name is Jamie, just like Joe Rogan's guy?
Yes. Let's just say yes.
Yes.
Did you do that? Was that part of like the hiring, like on purpose? Like we need a guy, and like, did Zane want to be like, yo, Jamie, pull that up?
Yeah, 100%. And it actually is Joe Rogan's Jamie.
Yep.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Austin based.
So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
James, for the viewers at home, what type of car are you sitting in right now?
This appears to be a Toyota something. I don't really know. I don't handle that part of the process. It's Anna does the car, the registration. I don't know. I just get in it and sit in the passenger seat.
Must be nice. Where are you right now?
I'm in the parking lot of a Sonic,
Nice.
and I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, okay. You're already there.
That all checks out.
Wait, Zane, are you going?
I am. Yeah, I'm going on Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
So it must be nice. Anna handles the registration, the travel, the car. What do you take care of, James?
You know, that is my job description. It's an ever changing one, but it doesn't have a lot in it. I think Anna said this actually. She said she's kind of like a permanent guest on the James Ignatowich show, and I think that's kind of how I. Okay, she just left the car. But yeah.
Oh, she was there? I didn't even realize she was there.
Yeah, she's doing some administrative stuff for the James Ignatowich show.
Yeah. Just putting together some spreadsheets.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Managing sponsorships.
Oh yeah, all three of them.
How actually did you decide to start up doing your own podcast? And why do you think it's never caught on like ours?
You know, I have a lot of reasons for the second question. I think, well, the main reason I decided to do it is because it was in my contract with Selkirk, and that's the main thing. The second reason is I think it is fun to kind of, go on a podcast and say whatever it is that you think. And I think we're lucky in pickleball that we can be pretty unfiltered because there's not a, huge presence of like backlash media where like you say something and then you get in trouble for it. Everything's pretty positive. So you can say whatever you want, which I think is a pretty big advantage of having such like a small pool. Like we're kind of in like the kiddie pool right now. Pickleball is. It's not a big pool. And I think that's what makes it fun. And why hasn't it caught on? I mean, there's a reason I'm on this podcast and you haven't been on mine. I mean, this is just, you've got Joe Rogan's Jamie. You've got professional background. I don't know. It just looks cool. Meanwhile, I'm in a car at Sonic, and I think that explains a lot.
Dude, isn't podcasting hard, though? Isn't it harder than you thought it would be?
It's probably harder for me than it is for you guys, clearly. I just have a tough time with a lot of aspects of the process. Firstly, it's not easy for me to stay on a task. Like I'm a better guest than a host because if I'm a host, I gotta go, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3.
Right.
It's a lot for me, and this is easier. This is preparation wise a lot easier.
I mean, I hate to be complaining about podcasting, but isn't it exhausting? Like when you put together a schedule, you have to keep the guests engaged. You got to think of the next thing. You got to say things that are intelligent yourself. It drains you. It's kind of like a little workout.
It is. It's also, it's not easy for me because I've got to get a different guest every week. So I think I'm just going to get like a permanent co-host, somebody that can carry me, kind of like Tyson. I need to play the right in this whole podcasting business. I can't be the guy that's doing everything, dictating the action. It's that's just not. I don't have that.
You're there for the color commentary.
Yeah.
Who would be a good? Who are you looking at? Who would you get as a co-host? Who's your ideal co-host for the James Ignatowich podcast?
Probably like a Collin Johns type character.
Really?
much. So maybe Collin.
But that's two rights. That's two rights. Who's going to play left?
You know, maybe you. Can I steal you from Thomas?
You can borrow him.
Okay.
I'm rentable.
I could go for a little. Yeah, I could go for a little Zane action on my pod.
I'd come on the pod sometime, but like you said, we got to make sure we do this before real media gets in here and starts tearing us to shreds. Because I think that you and I are probably two of the most cancelable pickleball players there are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be gone. I'd be gone already. I think it'd be. But yeah, to answer your question, who's a good co-host? I think a guy like Adam Stone would be good.
Yeah.
I think I need like an Adam, somebody like that.
Yeah. All right, let's. What's that?
I'm open to suggestions.
I'll do some thinking. I'll get you some Rex.
Maurice the Grease. He's yours.
That'd be an interesting one. That'll get you canceled.
Yeah. That might
Maurice the Grease.
That might spiral. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know if there's like a delay or something, but his Twitter is absolutely electric. Maurice the Grease. I don't go on Twitter, but when I do, I either retweet like nice things that people say about me, or I just look at his page. That's all.
That's really all Twitter's for. X. Sorry. Anyway, getting into actual topics, we played with Maurice the Grease and Pickleball Will last week in Austin. It was Maurice and I versus Will and Thomas, and we want you to guess. We played 5 games. We want you to guess the outcome.
What's Thomas's duper?
Bad.
I think it's like a 3, 8, or a 4.
Okay. Pickleball Will is good. He's no Chris Olsen. I would say. I don't know. I think you and Maurice had to have won, right? I guess probably you guys won all 5 games, and I mean you're that's not really.
Tell him what happened, Zane.
We won in 5 games. Maurice the Grease. I was playing right, basically. It was the Maurice the Grease show for sure. Maurice,
he goes
has
for everything.
Never seen a ball that he will not speed up.
Yeah. And he whips the ball. A few hit the back wall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was using one of those legacies that's like for sure super saucy, very spicy legacy. And game 1, I was like, holy shit, this guy's going pro. He had some unbelievable hands points, and then it sort of fell apart from there.
Yeah. Okay. We want to tell him about what happened in our singles.
I don't even remember
What do you think our singles score was, James? Me versus Zane.
I mean, if Zane's trying, it's got to be 11-0. That's the only right answer. If you're a 3-8, what could have possibly happened?
Tommy had some pretty nasty cross-court passing shots. It was what, like 11-6 or something?
11-6, 11-7.
11-6, 11-7.
And I think with a little bit of training, I could actually give you a run.
I still think I can beat your brother and you 2-on-1.
There's absolutely no shot.
We have somebody that will put $500 on me. It's Sean from Stop Alzheimer's now. He wants in on the action for whenever this happens.
Okay. Done.
We'll make it.
We'll do it in Vegas because me and my brother are playing 4 or 5 doubles in Vegas, and we'll do it there. And James, I know you're supposed to be the guest, and we're supposed to talk about you and ask you stuff, but I still want to focus on me for a second here.
Yeah, this is our show, James.
I'm just happy to be here.
Zane, I need you to give me an actual rating. Doubles.
Doubles? The duper rating?
Yeah.
5.21.
There it is. And I'm going to clip that. And now anyone who pulls up my duper, I'm just going to send them that. James, my duper is a travesty. It's fraudulent.
Well, that's high. I mean, that's not what I've heard from anyone. But if you're 5'2", that's different. Because I was going to say if it's you and another 4 or 5 or something, Zane's got to beat that team 1-on-2.
No, so me and my little brother beat Jay DeVilliers 1-on-2, and I think he had like 2 points.
Jay sucks.
It was a slaughter.
Jay
He's
sucks.
not. Yeah, Jay, I'm with Zane on that. I think Jay. Well, it's a 1-on-2. 1-on-2 is a very particular skill set. Like I'm really good at 1-on-2 because to beat 2 teams, 2 players, you've got to speed up everything through the middle and just trust your hands. You actually have to kind of drop middle a lot and then just crash. So that type of game is not really, I don't think Jay is a 1-on-2 specialist. Like somebody who's good at 1-on-2 might be like, you know, like Dylan could be really good at 1-on-2. It's an interesting skill set, but I think Zane would be good at that too, though.
That's how I practiced singles for a long time. I guess speaking of singles, are you just done? Is your goose cooked in singles? Because mine sure as hell is.
I'm getting softer every day. Like I came into this game and I was like a singles guy. Now I'm like no singles. I don't even want to play the left in men's anymore. I'm just getting softer. I don't really know what's happening to me as a man, but to answer your question, no singles really. I think for Kansas City, but I'm gonna be a winter singles guy. You know, I don't want to play singles in the summer. I don't want to play it at Kansas City. It's gonna be 105 degrees in 2 days. I'm gonna come back into the singles game in like October, and I'll play most of them up until like March. Indoor places. That's my single.
That's fair. That's fair. Nobody wants to play singles in 105 degrees.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthwhile to sort of specialize, and we've talked about it on the pod before, but like singles and doubles require in so much different training to be good at both. I think we're pretty close to seeing specialization between the two. And you're already sort of seeing it. Like the players who come in as new players are really good at singles and focusing on singles a lot, and it's just a lot harder to break into the doubles. But you managed to do it. So some people get good at pickleball very quickly, coming from a tennis background. Some people get good fast, and some good tennis players kind of suck forever. What do you think is the reason for you getting good quickly? Why do some people just not figure out the doubles game?
I think it's a few things. I want to firstly shout out the PPA. Shout out to whoever made the decision to get rid of the back draw, because the real reason that I'm so happy that the back draw is gone is because it's giving these new players less repetitions. It's actually making the process of improving for all new players that much harder. And guys like me and you, Zane, like we're already pretty good. We don't want any of these new players. Like we don't want them getting, you know, 5th, 6th, 7 good tournament reps. Like we want them to just not even want to sign up for the PPAs because they're going to lose. If they lose first round, whatever, there's only one back draw. Like I love it. I think it creates more of a barrier to entry for our competition. So that's one thing. I think one of the reasons why some tennis players have issues is because they think it's going to be easier than it really is. I think for me, I wasn't cocky at all. I might have acted that way or joked that way, but I never thought that I was going to be good at doubles. Anybody that knew me from like a year ago, I never thought I had the hands. I never thought that I had like the game to actually get good at doubles. I was playing it all day, and I was super not confident in my doubles. So I played 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, every day, and I was humble. And part of that was because really early on, I practiced with JW, and I was like, wow, this is just another level. And I think having that humility is really important for getting better, because you've got to be humble enough to work hard. And I think that was what happened with me. I was the anti-Noah Rubin, kind of. Like Noah kind of came in and thought that he would be very good. And I think he lacked a lot of things, right? He lacked talent. But I think that's a big thing. And if you look at a guy it's just tough. The skill sets are different. Like Sam Querrey was an amazing tennis player, and he had a huge serve. But if you watch him on a pickleball court, it's like it just doesn't look right. And I'm not even trying to roast him. I think some people, there's like pickleball talent and then there's tennis talent, and they're not necessarily correlated. Like just because you're better at somebody at tennis than somebody doesn't mean you're better at pickleball. Like JW wasn't a great tennis player, but he's really pickleball talented. And Sam Querrey or Noah Rubin, you can't tell me that JW doesn't have more pickleball talent than a Sam Querrey or somebody like that. So I think they're just two different sports.
Sure. So,
That's
you
my
think the main thing is just being humble when coming in and like looking to learn it like pickleball and not falling back on those tennis tendencies?
Yeah, I mean, I was really humble and worked hard. I don't think it's necessary though. Like, I think it's a mix of that and also just talent for a different sport. Like pickleball is a completely different sport, and I couldn't volley the ball in tennis. Like I had no doubles in tennis. I had no volleys. When I told people I was good at pickleball like 6 months ago, my tennis friends were like, dude, no way. Like I was the last guy that would have ever been good at pickleball. I never volleyed. I had no ability to drop shot, no hands. I just had a big serve and big forehand and whatever. And so it's really weird. It's just a different sport. I guess that's my answer.
Are you not like just recruiting all your tennis buddies like to come over here and play with me? I mean, you had your one buddy on King of the Court pod.
Davis.
Yeah. He was going off. But are any of your other buddies like, yeah, I need to give this a try if James is making a run at this thing?
It's so funny because all of my tennis friends knew JW from tennis. Like we grew up and we played tennis in the same group. And when they found out that JW was good at pickleball, they were like, okay, that makes sense. You know, like he's like a little, maybe he's a little like a different type of guy, like different player. Maybe a sport like pickleball kind of is geared towards how he is. You know, he's kind of like a Zane in a lot of ways, just a different type of dude. And
I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, you could take it that way. And I think it's different because...
Okay, so it wasn't a compliment. All right.
So pickleball is like, but then they saw that I made it in pickleball. And then all of them were like, wait, no. This is BS. Pickleball is a joke. If James can make it, anybody can make it. And this is the truth because I had no hands in tennis, nothing. And they've all been playing and none of them are really good yet. So we'll see. But I've got a few friends that have been playing pickleball like every day for like 4 hours a day. And I'm not recruiting them anymore. I don't want any more competition at all. I'm not recruiting anybody. If anybody asks me like, James, are you making money in pickleball? I'm like, no, I'm not making any money. I don't know why I'm even doing this. I don't want any competition.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're like opposite of grow the game. Like let's grow the game at the very amateur level, but let's keep that barrier up so I could just keep winning. But like it's obvious. I mean, to me at least, I would make this assumption that like really the way to hack it is like you need to get into a group like you did of really talented players and just get an insane amount of reps.
Yeah, that was what I did, and I got more reps than anybody. I think like I was out of my mind. These days I practice like 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, but there was a year period where I was just, I mean, Zane knows what's up. I was just tisming out on the courts all day, 6 hours, 8
That's a technical
hours.
term?
Yeah, I mean, you can explain that term, Zane. I mean, we've gone into depth on this.
I have no idea what he's talking about, obviously.
I'll add that. I'll make sure to add that to our like pickleball glossary blog
perfect,
or whatever.
Perfect.
Wait, so you're going to train later, right? Like that's where you're going. That's why you have to jump. When you do, like who are you going to be playing with? Like what's the usual squad? Well, I guess you're in Kansas City, so it's different. But like, okay, if you were in Florida right now, like who would you be going to play with?
Usually in Florida, I'm doing more drilling than playing these days, just because there's so many tournaments. I'm getting a ton of match reps. I'll usually go out there with my friend Davis or Hugo, who are a couple guys who are coming. They came from tennis. They're borderline pro level. I mean, Davis is probably like challenger level at this point. And we'll just drill for 2 hours. So we'll just hit dinks, thirds, everything. We do this fun drill called the Brendan Long drill, where there's two guys on one side and then I'm on my own side, and I have to cover the entire court with dinks. So they're going to move me all across the court with dinks in the heat. And once I get 10 dinks in a row, then we play it out half court. So just some really messed up, like just torturous drills for like 2 hours. And that's pretty much it. I think the best way for me to train is just 2 really hard hours. I don't want to build any bad habits going any longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a balance. You always get sloppy after the 2 hour mark. So Davis, you said he's like, has he played any tournaments, or what's his deal?
Yeah, he played mixed with Tyra a couple months ago. He got to the quarters of the APP in who knows, one of the APPs, and I think he's going to probably be. He'll be playing more tournaments. I know he's playing New Jersey APP, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm keeping him secret because I'm training him to be my right side guy.
Ooh, okay. So are there? Are there any other players that you're high on that that other people might not know about or are flying under the record right now, under the radar?
No, I don't know anything.
No, what a great guest! What a great guest!
No,
Come
I
on, give
honestly
us
don't.
something.
Well, it's funny because like I know what's up. People don't realize this, but like I feel like I'm a good evaluator of who's good at pickleball because I watch more than anybody. And I've only been given the opportunity to make 2 draft decisions, or 2, advising for 2 picks. Those 2 picks were Hayden Patriquin of this past season, not a bad choice, and Tyra Black, which was months ago. I knew she was going to be good. I know what's up. People need to start paying me to be the GM of their team. But outside of Tyra and Hayden, Hayden obviously was already good, but Tyra, I knew, and outside of that, I can't name anybody. I mean, I just played Rachel, and I was really impressed by Rachel in mixed. I don't really want to talk about it. We lost. Pretty sad.
Oh, that's on the agenda. Don't worry, that's on the agenda.
Yeah, she was really impressive to me. Hitting the ball really hard, using the halo, which is a really soft paddle, and just clocking the ball. So I think she has a lot of potential, and I'm excited for your team for the squeeze because that looks to be a really good pick.
How do you feel about your team?
I think my team's good. I think the more I watch Jay play men's doubles, where he takes the middle with his backhand, the more concerned I get. But
I was waiting to hear where that was going.
Yeah, no, I think Elise and Callie played really well this past weekend. Obviously, they got to the finals. They just looked great from a team chemistry perspective. I think as a team, we are like. I think the most important thing is our chemistry is going to be great. Right, we're 4 good teammates. Jay is like the best guy ever. Elise is the best. Callie's the best. Like truthfully, and I'm on the team too, so I don't know, but I think the 4 of us are going to be great, and I think our biggest advantages are mixed. Right, like I think we're going to have 2 borderline number 1 mixed teams because Jay is very good at mixed, in my estimation, and I think we're well rounded. And I think we can win an event. It's going to come down to, I think, how some of the other teams play out, because I think our team is more of a, you sort of know what you're going to get. Like, I think Elise, Callie, and Jay, they're pretty much, they are what they are, and they're great players, but it's not like, we're not like a huge upside team or anything like that. I think we're all pretty solid and pretty much, like, we know how we're going to play.
Gotcha. Interesting. So are you going to play right or left with Jay? Do you guys know yet? Yeah, I know you said that you want to be more of a right side player.
Yeah, it's weird because I think we're going to have an interesting situation because Jay's thirds are a lot better and Jay's able to get to the kitchen really well. I think if there's one thing he can do, it's he can dink and he can hit thirds at a really high level, and that'll give him the opportunity to take 70% of the court on thirds, like Tyson does with me. And then I just go up there and I just hit counters. So I guess there's a little bit of a question because I think if I'm playing the left, we can be a little more aggressive. I can maybe take some balls and do more with them than Jay would. But I think that if he's on the left, it gives him that freedom. Like I think one of the things that Tyson did really well this weekend was he dinks really aggressively from the left. And I think having me on the right, if there's one thing I can do, it's I can counter the ball and I can be hard to attack. And it gives a left side player a lot of freedom to hit aggressive dinks, do what you want to do. It's okay if you pop one up, if you hit one a little too deeply, because it's a high percentage play for me to get attacked. So I think it's an interesting situation because you see a right side player as the guy that just wants to make balls, and like you look at Collin Johns and that's sort of a prototype. But I think the way me and Tyson played this weekend was an interesting sort of different strategy, different take on that.
So you're power right.
I think I'm a power right over, you know. I'll leave it at that, yeah.
How was it playing with Tyson? What's your relationship like with Tyson? Did you have to ice your butt after you guys played? Like, what was the butt smacking situation? Did you ever reciprocate? I mean, there's just so many questions.
Yeah, playing with Tyson's awesome. I think one of the ways where Tyson's underrated, because there's no ranking for this, right? But I think he might be the best teammate in pickleball.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. Like being a good teammate, being supportive, and just making sure that your partner feels good about what they're doing it makes your partner play better. Like you're not going to make your partner play better rolling their eyes when they miss a third or whatever it is. And that's a huge Tyson does that at such an elite level. And I felt comfortable the entire time. Definitely got shoulder checked a lot. And I think overall it was a really fun experience. And I think the way that we played was pretty cool because usually it's in men's doubles, there's a lot of dink and cross between the two right side players sometimes, or there's going to be like some, there's more patience on that side. And Tyson with us, he mostly just kept it cross so as to keep it in front of me. So when we got to the kitchen, Tyson just grinded cross-court dinks the entire time. The guy won't miss, obviously. And we just kept it in front of me. Tyson countered well in the forehand in the middle, and I just basically was ready to be attacked. And if he's not going to miss going cross, teams have to come through me. And I think that's an interesting way to play, and we're definitely better with him on the left.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened in that match, right? Like, so you guys go down 2 games, looking a little bit bleak. What shifted there after that second game? Because then you guys are just on an absolute roll.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, you guys won in 5 games at Tournament of Champions against AJ and Riley. They won the first 2 relatively easily, not super close. You steamroll them 11-0 in the 3rd game.
Right.
And then after that, you won games 4 and 5. 4 was relatively close. 5 was quite close. Yeah.
I mean, anytime you go 11-0 on a team, you know that their chemistry is essentially like crumbling. Like, could you feel that? Could you feel just the tension between them, and then you just sort of like rode that momentum?
I don't really notice like tension between Zane knows we're kind of in the same boat here. We're not super good at picking up on that type of stuff. Like, I don't really know of any sort of the social, like, I don't know how they felt about each other. I was kind of just focused on the ball. And I definitely think, okay, here's what happened. In the first 2 games, I mean, Riley's funky. I've never had Riley in front of me because I've only ever played the left. So Riley's got that grip. It's just a weird situation because a lot of his backhands go straight on. And usually a 2-handed backhand goes cross court. So it was just weird for me to play him for the first time. And he was having some success attacking me. And I think in the 3rd game, we won 11-0 all on my serve. So that was interesting. And I think that's maybe the first time I've ever done that in a pro tournament outside of when I played Grant Bond. And I think that was cool.
Grant's one of our only listeners.
Yeah.
I will be receiving a text. And I'm sure you will too. But anyway, continue.
So let me do a quick segue on that. Newport Beach, I'm a good lefty player, right? I play a lot of lefty pickleball. And Grant and I played a skinny singles game where I played lefty and he played righty. And there was a lot of money on it. Matt Wright's got 20 on it. Pablo's got a lot of money on it. And I actually won the game. So for those who don't know, I beat Grant Bond lefty in skinny singles. And that's a fact. And I've got nothing else to say about that. But Riley kept attacking me in game 4 and game 5 because he had some success doing it in game 1 and game 2. And I think once I had a decent read on Riley, that's what changed the match a lot for me. Like, I kind of just started sending him back, just countering it down. And I think if Riley can't attack the player in front of him, it really neutralizes what he does. And I think that was big for us. There was some stat that in like game 4 and game 5, or game 3, 4, and 5, like the percentages were really good for us when he sped it up at me, and that was a big thing. So that's how I felt about that.
So how do you like deal with that? You're sort of like tense because you know Riley is gonna speed it up at you and he's really good at doing that. Are you like, okay, let me just take like a step off the line here and like
Step up the line.
What a dumb question, Thomas.
You didn't like that one.
No, I'm not saying. I think no, I think Riley's obviously got great hands, and he's somebody you don't want to be attacking you. I think he's top 3 in terms of hand speed in the men's game. And I think one thing, though, that I have for sure on him is my hands are heavier. I'm using a poppier paddle too. So I knew that if I got that good initial counter, I was going to be in a good spot. And a lot of my counters didn't come back. So I think it's interesting because he's also not familiar with having me in front of him. So he's not used to this punch right here. You know, he hasn't seen it, Thomas. And he wasn't seeing it well. In game 3, 4, and 5, he wasn't seeing it at all. And I think that was shout out to the white paddle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Have anything to do with the shade of the paddle?
Oh, yeah, it did. So I think, but no, I didn't really take a step off. I think playing the right's easier, right? You're only covering 40% of the court or less. And I think, I don't know. I didn't really have anything. I don't really think much when I play. I had no real strategy. I just saw the ball and countered it.
What's the latest on the paddle? Like, are you gonna have to make some? Are you gonna have to switch to a different color shade, or what's like the latest you've heard with all that?
Yeah, I think. Well, I haven't heard it. I mean, somebody had told me that the PPA is not going to do anything about it until at least next year. Obviously, MLP can't use it, and I'm glad because I don't think white paddle should be allowed at all. I think it's not. It's just not in the spirit of the game. It really is an advantage, and I have issues seeing off white paddles. I think it's just. I don't know. I mean, the safety thing is a real factor, but I think any sort of competitive advantage like that, I'm glad that as pickleball is improving, it's maturing, stuff like that is getting taken out of the game because it shouldn't be. There should be nothing that changes how you can beat the ball on the paddle. So that's my take.
I like it. It's a little more honest.
Yeah, I would say that the vast majority of the players probably feel that way, right? Like, just visuals from a paddle doesn't feel like it is the spirit of the game. I mean, there's plenty of advancements that all these companies are trying to make in their paddle technology, whether that's more power, more spin. But I think like being deceptive and not being able to see or having a paddle that catches the sun has been an intent of the rule for a long period of time. Yeah. So I'm curious, why do you think you didn't get called from Riley, or did you, when he was making his partnership decision? Because like I was thinking when Riley was going to make an announcement of who he was going to play with, I thought that it would be you. I thought that would be a natural sort of fit. And
the fact that he didn't is complete disrespect to you. So I'm going to open up the floor here to make a statement directly to Riley and tell him how you really feel. Go for it.
Oh, man. I think, well, I have had some issues getting to the line. And I think Riley is at his best when he's got a guy who has good thirds and can let Riley get up there and crash. So if you look at the Riley and Tyson of old, 2020, 2019, Tyson took 70% of the thirds from the right. And Riley's probably got, in my estimation, the most lethal crash from the left in the game because his pancake is going straight down. And that's a huge advantage. People don't realize because they don't see him crash often because nobody returns to his partner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting thing. And Riley and I, we only got bronze in Red Rock, and I think that was mostly my fault. I wasn't as comfortable hitting so many balls, like getting actually targeted. And it was just a weird thing for me. And it's funny because if I played the right with Riley, I think we would be really good. I think Riley can't play the right, in my opinion, at that against a Collin and a Ben. I just don't think his forehand dink's going to hold up. I don't really think he's at his best on the right. I think he's at his best on the left because his backhand speed up is so lethal off the bounce. It's going to come back across. He'll walk it across and he'll pancake it down. We've all seen that so many times. And if he's on the right, he's a little more susceptible to getting hit at his belly button. That's kind of where you want to get him. So I don't think it's, he realized that I could play the right because I didn't realize I could play the right. Nobody did. So if he wanted somebody that had that versatility, maybe AJ, I guess, is seen as that guy that has that versatility. But I think this past weekend might have been a good showing. Maybe I'll get that call. I've got one opening this year. But I think me and Riley would be good if I played the right and if I just took 30% of the court. My 30%, nobody's coming through it, and that would be good. But no, I didn't get the call from Riley, but I don't hold it against him. I don't think it's
He's leaving the door open for that.
All right, thanks to our sponsor, Dilly Life. So Dilly Life is a performance apparel brand by pickleballers for pickleballers. Dilly Life's innovative designs redefine the possibilities of pickleball apparel with performance features like UV protection and moisture wicking technology. I got my Dilly Life shirt on here. I'm going to make sure we can see the logo there. And these dope hats that they have, which apparently I spilled a coffee on, so I have to wash that. But it says Après Pickleball, or Après Pickle, which is pretty cool. Experience the Après Pickle lifestyle with ultra soft fleece collections, perfect for post-match fun, learning how to read here. They sent me a couple hoodies too, which are awesome. Dilly Life is reinventing how pickleball apparel looks, feels, and performs. Head over to dillylife.com. That's DILLYLIFE.com and receive 20% off your order with code all caps DINK20, DINK20, with free shipping on all orders over $75. Thanks to our sponsor, Dilly Life.
Who do you have for the rest of the year?
I've got some with Matt Wright. I'm excited about that. I've got one with Tyler. I've got two more with Tyson. And Boca is open. I might play that one with Davis. I don't know what I'm going to do with Boca. So
I'm sitting right here, buddy. I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, well, there's
let me
reason
know.
if you want to Riley in that last 5 minutes.
If you wanna work on your 2-on-1 and see how it plays out at the pro level, Thomas is your guy. He'll hit only serves, only returns, and literally go like live stream the match for the rest of the point. Like he'll just pop off, get his phone, film the rest of it.
Nice. I can start vlogging like Christian. Let's go.
There you go.
Wait, okay. Talk about, so you and I feel like there was a time where it was all of Twitter was just you and Christian going back and forth. You had a bunch of interviews where you're going at him, but you guys aren't interacting much these days. Are you guys still buddies? What's the deal there? I thought you guys were like best friends.
No. I knew him from tennis. And I guess I think one of the reasons we were friends is because I didn't know him well enough.
Shit.
I'll leave it at that.
What about his game? Are you high on him? Does it feel like he's been improving quite a bit, especially like in doubles?
Yeah, I'm high on his mixed game and his singles. I think he's a great singles player, and I think he's got the athleticism to take over a mixed match. But I think in men's, he's got some issues in his body. His counters are pretty shockingly poor. And I think on the backhand, it's just, you've seen it, Well, anyway, you can do the demonstration. Just speed it up at his body and see what happens.
What about, what about Tyra? Do you think Tyra's do you think she's the future of the women's game? Like, do you think she could actually give in singles Annalie a run week in, week out? And then what about doubles? What's her upside?
I think she's got the upside to be the best in doubles, honestly. I think her hand speed is maybe the best in the game, and her power is close to it.
Yeah.
And I think she's just in doubles. I think she could be the best. I would be surprised if she wasn't top 3 really soon. And super high on her doubles. The singles, I don't know. I mean, I actually it was crazy when I saw that she beat Anna Leigh. I was like, wow, how did that happen? I never was so high on her singles, and I think that's mostly because her forehand is really funky. In tennis, it wasn't great. She used to slice it, and it's weird. So do I think she's going to beat Anna Leigh in singles consistently? No. I think Anna Leigh will be the best in singles until someone new comes in. There's nobody I see who can be better than her consistently.
Yeah.
Singles.
Interesting. Wait, okay, quick sidebar, Zane, because I want to get to this. What is the latest on ProXR paddles and all that heat?
I mean, this weekend I went and got 3 of my paddles tested ahead of time, and they all passed, and that was more or less across the board. I didn't hear of anybody having one of their ProXR paddles preemptively failed, so not really any updates there. It's
so nothing. They'll just be tested. If they fail, they fail. But there's no real like additional stipulations around the paddles.
not since the last time we talked, but I mean, some of these paddles are designed to be on the fringe, right?
Yeah.
Like, and if we're getting them tested ahead of time and they fail, that should be fine, right? If they're failing ahead of a tournament, ahead of being used, there's no harm, no foul there, right? So we want to be at whatever that limit is. If you say the limit is 40 grit, we're at 40. If you want to say the limit is 43 grit, we're at 43. And based on the way the testing's done, it's going to fail sometimes if we're right at that limit. But we don't want to use a paddle that's over the limit.
You said something really interesting when we were over at Collective playing with the Grease and Will. You talked about like vertical versus horizontal fibers and how that can impact grit. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, essentially there on a tennis racket, there's crosses and mains, right? The mains go from the top to the bottom, and the crosses go from the left to right, right to left. On a pickleball paddle, your main objective as a pro player, the most important thing that you want is topspin. And so if you're holding the paddle out 90 degrees to your right or to your left, and you're brushing up the back of the ball, the only important part of texture is when you rub your fingers across the paddle. So if you rub your fingers from left to right, that is the type of texture that's going to get you topspin. Mm-hmm. If you rub your fingers from top to bottom, that's the type of texture that's going to get you side spin when you're hitting the ball in certain ways that most pro players hit. So essentially, some of the paddles are very gritty one direction and not as gritty the other way. So they're on a paddle, on a carbon-faced paddle, there might be certain spots that are registering at 25 and some that are registering at 55, and you're supposed to come in at an average less than 40 or 43, depending on what standard you're using.
Right.
So yeah, that's something that is, I think, done by a decent amount of companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. James, did you get all that? Did you take notes there?
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with what he's talking about. I think when I first felt a ProXR paddle, it was pretty shocking, like how gritty it felt. And I spoke to some people about it, like Chris, just some total paddle nerds, and I guess the consensus is that people are going to start copying that. I don't want to give them too much credit because Selkirk pays me. So,
yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science, right? Like, it's going to get copied sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to get copied. If anybody's smart, it's going to get copied.
Yeah, right. Okay, interesting. All right, should we talk a little bit more about what happened at the PPA this weekend? What is this first note that you have here?
Yeah. My highlight of Tournament of Champions was not James winning. It was not me getting picked up by Rafa for a round him up. It was actually off the court where I was walking in between matches and a girl says, "Hey Zane, I have a weird question for you." I'm like, "Okay, That's fine. I talk to James a decent amount. I'm used to weird stuff. She's like, so is Thomas single? And I said, I said, I think so. Are you single?
Mm-hmm.
He is singles. He is singles. Single. Sorry. He's single. But I told her, if you're into the finance frat bro, like, shoot him a DM. And she's like, yeah, I am. So did you get a DM?
I don't think so.
She said that she was going to slide into the DMs.
Was she like a Utah girl?
She was in Utah. I don't know.
Well, that part's clear.
So,
all right, is that the whole story?
Yeah, that was the whole
girl's gonna
story.
slide into my DMs. Okay, got it. All right, glad we cleared that one up.
Yeah, that was the highlight.
Thomas doesn't look too excited. He's like, yeah, I get DMs all the time.
No, I was just so surprised. I was surprised that she didn't just refer to him as the other guy from the podcast.
Yeah,
she knew
right.
your name.
Yeah,
That really threw me off.
We're making headway here. We're making progress.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I learned his name today.
I guess we didn't actually
to meet
introduce him.
Yeah. All right. What else at PPA? Although that was absolutely riveting.
Oh yeah, we did say we needed to talk about you guys losing first round.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Okay. Well, I mean, my computer has 2% battery. This is.
Oh wow. So if we cut off, wow.
Yeah. I think. Well, no. I mean, it's funny because like me and Anna are pretty consistent, right? Like we've got 4 straight podiums, and we're usually doing the same thing every time. But in TOC, it's not easy to get used to that altitude, and I think our biggest mistake was just we under prepared. Like, we didn't warm up enough, and the ball was flying. And the other thing too is like we're used to pretty straightforward first rounds, and Andre and Rachel is anything but that. I mean, Andre played really well, and Rachel was surprisingly good. And we just kind of got flustered. We weren't really, they had already played a match. That was our first match. And they just outplayed us. And I played particularly poorly. I had a tough time getting to the kitchen, a tough time making things bounce in that altitude. But really, I mean, the credit goes to them. They played a really, really clean match. And I'm impressed with Rachel, for sure.
Nice. How'd you guys do in the back draw?
We had a tough discussion before it, and then we pulled out.
So you're not a back draw battler.
No, I'm no Dylan Frazier. Did you see that Dylan Frazier lost first round singles, came back and won the back draw in Seattle? I didn't think anybody was going to play the back draw.
I did not see that. Good for him. That dude's just addicted to pickleball.
That's just insane. Like I have no. If I lose first round, I don't think I'm going to play the back draw ever. Are you? At least not until next year.
I haven't had to make that choice yet.
Oh, I have.
Knock on wood. I'm about to go out first round in Kansas City for sure.
Okay, wait. So you said there's nobody that you're high on.
I got to put my computer on a charger really quick. This is just getting bad.
All right, this is expert podcasting. I'll ask Zane about this, and James, you can tie it.
It is a Toyota. Would you look at that?
whoa, bro. Hey, Jamie, blur that out. It's free.
Toyota's
free
not
ad.
sponsoring this pod.
Not yet.
Unbelievable.
Not right now. What about this? I'm going to butcher this name. Is it Quang Dong? Quang Duong?
Keep trying.
Kang Dong?
Go again.
King Kong. Is King Kong good? What's his upside? He seems to be making some noise, and he seems to be like really dedicated. There's a lot of stories about like him and his dad training for like hours before matches and stuff like that. He seems to have the latest guy to like come out of nowhere and start to pull off some upsets. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, like he you watch him, and he's one of those guys that makes things look hard but easy at the same time. Like he's putting all of his body weight into his ground strokes, his serve. He's letting go like a 2-second grunt every time he's hitting a hard shot, and he can really get a lot of action on the ball. Really athletic, fast. I think he's like 17 or 18, and he's a very highly ranked junior player. again, it's a little bit easier to break into singles. But I watched him on singles day. He played singles, and then he was out there till like 7 or 8 at night playing doubles afterwards. And then him and his partner, I think, lost relatively early in doubles, and he was out there the entire day. So I mean, like, he's got that. He seems like he's got what James talked about earlier of the humility. He's humble, and he's not taking anything for granted based on his tennis background. He seems like he's grinding.
But also that obsession, right?
Oh, I think we lost James.
All right, see you later, James.
All right, that was James Ignatowich.
Yeah, if he jumps back in, he jumps back in. Okay, wait. What do you think about? That's what I was gonna say. What do you think about like these players who kind of do that tennis grunt, right? Like I think Salome does it more than anybody, and it pissed off Irina to the point where Irina it was like after the match, like paddle tap, and Irina just like mid court just goes, no.
She just waved at it.
She waved her off. She was like, yeah, no, I'm good. We're not tapping paddles, and she just walked off the court. But like Salome will be like,
She's like, what?
No, you got it.
I didn't hear you. I'm wearing headphones. I couldn't hear you.
You can rewind. You can watch it back later. And then it seems like King Kong is doing that too. Quang Dong. Like, what do you think about that? Does that bug you? That would bug me so much, especially in an intense match.
Honestly, I'm in my own world, and I don't think that's why Irina and Salome don't see eye to eye. I'm sure there are a list of things ahead of Salome's grunt that.
But, I mean, it definitely adds to it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's more annoying when you're watching than it is actually playing. I don't hear anything when I'm playing. Like that person could be yelling for 5 seconds every time they hit. I have no idea.
Yeah, James just goes, "Thanks for having me on. I had a good time."
Thanks, James.
Yeah.
Good luck with your practice. That was James Ignatowich, host of the third tier podcast, the James Ignatowich Show. Yeah, no, but that was a very entertaining little video to watch of Irina. You know, Riley made a fuss over not tapping paddles in between games, and Irina just went full send and said, "I'm just not going to tap your paddle at all. Like,
right.
You can go away."
Yeah, you see that every once in a while. I mean, Leia's done that to Salome as well.
I don't know if Leia's ever done it at the end of a match.
I think she did.
Did she?
Against Salome, yeah.
Okay.
Back when, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the probably the most disrespectful thing that you can do on a pickleball court. That is essentially it's not even essentially. It is an FU to who you're playing.
It's like I don't have respect for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even like it's definitely I have zero respect for you.
Right.
And
right.
it usually goes past whatever's happened on the court and is even like interpersonal issues.
Right.
You know, it's always drama when there's not a paddle tap.
Yeah, it's so interesting in pickleball too. It's not like tennis where there's a big stadium and you can kind of like avoid the players you're not a fan of. Like, you don't really have to spend that much time in their proximity. But in pickleball, I feel like you're just constantly passing your competition. Like, you're standing next to them. It's like just a small area, so you have to confront these awkward relationships more often.
Yeah, and I think we're only going to see more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're starting to see people separate themselves a little bit more too. Like, more people are just going and finding their own spot rather than hanging out in the pro tent in between matches. Yeah, I don't think you would catch Irina and Salome shooting the shit in the pro lounge,
right.
Eating their Subway catered sandwiches together.
Yeah. Bleep that out, Jamie. No free ads.
Fair.
Did you see the pickleball sandwich that Subway has?
Yeah, no free ads. Bleep that out. Did you see the pickleball sandwich? Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. What's it called? I don't remember.
I don't know. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
It's so funny how these brands like just try and hop on the bandwagon any way they can.
Yeah. What? You can't bring it up and not know what you're talking about.
I mean, is there market research that Subway's doing where they're like, yeah, if we just call this the pickleball sub, like people will buy it? You know, McDonald's had the like Travis Scott burger or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the hell is a Travis Scott burger?
Yeah, a bunch of these like fast food chains like teaming up with like big celebrities, big names, and then they just like, well, it wasn't just a burger. It was like you ordered the Travis Scott, and it was like this burger and this fry and like a McFlurry or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the McGuffin McMuffin.
Yeah, right. Why are they not? Yeah, exactly. That's what they should have done.
100%.
One of them. One of these brands. Get on it.
I would purchase it. I think we've talked about this on the pod. It's definitely got like some sriracha on there or something.
Yeah.
It's like definitely like a bunch of bacon, maybe some egg.
All right. What else do we want to talk about from PPA? I mean, so Pat Smith seems to be making a little bit of a comeback here and having some good results after being relatively quiet for some time. I think he was nursing some injuries. He seems to be back to good health, and he's making some deep runs. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, it's great to see Pat back. One of the most liked guys on tours, super good guy, and really nice to see him playing better again. I mean, it's so tough on your confidence and just your ability to practice when you have some of these like nagging injuries and whatnot. He must be feeling good until he hit his head in that match and was like forced to withdraw. So he was certainly feeling good before that.
What's up with these concussion protocols we got going here?
Yeah, that's wild.
We got a new theme.
That's like, I wonder, there's been like no concussions before last
Ever.
couple of weeks.
Yeah. And now everybody's hitting their head. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
So Pat played lights out all weekend. I lost to him in mixed and in men's. And yeah, he's Pat Smith is back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Ben and Collin a couple weeks ago with DJ.
Yep.
Pat's playing well.
Yeah. He's always been a solid player.
And Tina Pisnik, awesome. She's a rock on the right side. Doesn't miss any
looks
dings.
like a badass.
She does. She might be a badass. I don't really know Tina very much, but yeah, looks like a badass. Really, really solid backhand punch. And I was talking to somebody. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was like, I don't know how long Tina's been playing, but she is one of the smarter pickleball players that I've seen, and she's pretty new to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like her pickleball IQ is unbelievably high, and when you have a pickleball IQ that's super high, you can hide certain things about your game and avoid certain situations that aren't advantageous to you.
Right.
And she did unbelievably with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I saw her hit a backhand dink the whole time. And so I don't know, maybe it is good, maybe, but like she didn't have to hit any of them. So I think she does a really good job of avoiding the things that she's bad at and getting the shots that she's good at. And it'll be interesting to see if people sort of start to figure out some of her tendencies and look for those weaknesses a little bit more if they're there. I don't even know if they're there or not. But yeah, she looks like a badass, is a badass, plays like a badass. And for the Stop Alzheimer's Now swear jar, we're referring to ass as like donkey. Not a swear word in this.
Yeah, we're running up the tab pretty quickly. But we had a good week of donations. But so are you injured right now?
I've got a little bit of nagging stuff. My left leg is like 2 centimeters longer than my right, and so I've always had. Back in college, my hip on the left side was a little messed up, and then had some issues with the knee, and then recently it's been the Achilles, and then just last week, bottom of my foot started killing me kind of randomly. The PTs thought it was like a deep foot muscle spasm or something or another. I don't know. I'm not one of those people, but I feel a little bit better this week. Yeah, resting, icing, doing that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was pretty hobbled in our mixed match against Dylan and Mary, and they just kept hitting the ball to Coop, which was really good because Coop like took over and won us that quarterfinal match. But I was rough in that match, but feel okay now. We'll see how Kansas City goes. But
What's the like PPA policy on meeting your like minimum tournament appearance in consideration of injuries?
I think if you get a doctor's note or something, like
Really?
I think so. I think there's
Instead of,
something
like your dad's buddy who's a doctor and get a note, and then you don't have to play.
I think there's, yeah. I mean, I think they can't make you play if you're injured, right? And it's not going to be a violation of your contract if you're if you legitimately can't play because of an injury.
Mm-hmm.
But knock on wood, I don't think that's going to be the case for me. I think probably our best case for that might be like looking at how they treated Steve Deacon when he had his wrist surgery, but he also might have been between APP and PPA at that point. I think if somebody's legitimately injured, they don't want them on the court, and I think they'd be reasonable.
Yeah.
So I know there's some wording in our contract about that. I don't know the full details about it.
Yeah, in terms of, so like as a player, when you consider the importance of like a PPA versus an MLP event, like if playing a PPA and like fighting through an injury could be detrimental to like an upcoming MLP, are you going to opt to rest, or like is prioritizing PPA more important to you? And how do you think most players think about that?
Well, I mean, I just think that for the most part, there's higher stakes at Major League Pickleball. You're playing for more money. You have a larger team that you don't want to let down. So, I mean, like when you're playing a PPA event, odds are there's another one 2 weeks from now, right? MLP is not the same. There's one every 2 months in MLP. So I think that players are prioritizing their health for Major League Pickleball just based on, financial decisions. You could, if you play well at a Major League Pickleball, you could walk away with $50,000 before any sort of sponsor matches or incentives. For most people, you're not going to, regardless of how well I play at a PPA, I'm probably not triple crowning anytime soon, right? And so even if I did, the dollar amounts wouldn't be the same as winning one MLP. So I think most players are really making sure that they're in their best shape and trying to peak for these MLP events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who are you playing with this weekend?
I've got Christian and Jackie Kawamoto.
You're playing with Christian Auchan?
Yeah, I've never played with them, so it'll be good.
Have you ever done any like rec play with them or anything?
Nope.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
Get there early, do some get some reps in.
Yeah, we'll go for it. I mean, but at this point, like, for the most part, playing with your normal partner is way more important at the amateur level. At the pro level, you can almost play with anybody because we know who should take what ball based on where it's coming from, based on the general strengths of our partner. I see out of this corner of my eye when Rafa's moving to the middle to take a forehand, or Jay is stepping in front of me to hit a backhand when I'm sitting there to smack a forehand. I'm just messing. But like you see these things, right? Your peripheral vision on the court is a little bit more fine tuned as a pro, and you pick up on some of those cues that an amateur might not. So it's definitely more important to be in really good rhythm with your partner, I think, at the amateur level. And then, playing together over a period of time, I'm not discounting the importance of that at the pro level, but you can be functional very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. Within a couple practice games.
Mm-hmm. Are you playing singles?
No singles. I'm still working on my sort of nagging left leg injury stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't want to push that.
Okay, I could take your spot if you want me to.
Yeah, perfect. We look alike. We play alike. I'm sure nobody would even notice.
No, not at all. And I would love to have your dad cheering for me. Does your dad ever go to tournaments, watch you?
Yeah, he goes to a bunch. He's going to be at Major League Pickleball. So is my mom. Right now, they're busy with their store in Racine, Wisconsin. It's over the summer. They're busy.
What's the store?
They own a small retail and clothing store. They import jewelry and clothing from all across the world. And it's pretty unique stuff. It's called Dimples Imports, LLC, in Racine, Wisconsin. So if you ever find yourself in Racine, Wisconsin, make sure to hit them up.
I like it. Jamie, bleep that out.
Yeah, come on. They're kind of a sponsor of the show, right?
No free ads. That's strict policy.
No free ads except for Subway and Selkirk
ProXR.
and ProXR and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, we basically give away ads on this on this show.
Yeah, this one's sponsored by High Brew Coffee.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
very much.
Celsius.
Actually, you did have this turned around, and it's not in frame, so
Well,
never mind.
now everybody knows. Another brand. This is happening now. Brands will just send me stuff, and I'm like, who? Like, why is this being sent? Like, somehow they're getting a hold of my address and they're just like shipping me product, and I don't understand. Like, do they think I'm going to talk about it on the pod? I'm talking about it, but I'm not going to name their brand.
Well, that's a fun problem to have.
Yeah, it's not. Well, no. Sometimes it just like takes up space. I have so much random crap. It's bad.
Did you get anything from Dude Wipes?
No.
I have probably a lifetime
that out.
supply of Dude Wipes at this point. They sent me some stuff, and it was the most enormous package of, like, how much do they think I'm wiping my ass?
Is that what they are? They're just like wet wipes. It's not like because don't they have like the shower ones?
They have
too,
there's
right?
there's so much stuff, but yeah, there is a lifetime.
It's a classic company is just like pure branding. It's
For
just
sure.
Wet wipes. Like you just go to Cottonelle or CVS or something, but it's for dudes. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm with it.
All right. Should we do questions?
Yeah, we've had a couple of weeks. We've had a really good turnout from the SAN questions. Stop Alzheimer's now. So,
you see, the new announcement today of the MLP owners. There's so many. Let's see, Scotty Scheffler, Taylor Fritz, C.J. Stroud, Myles Garrett, Bijan Robinson, Bijan, and then. Okay, Mika Parsons. Wait, there was one that I was like, I don't even know this. DJ Bobby Bones. Do you know who DJ Bobby Bones is?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a conflict with DJ Selkirk. I'm team DJ Selkirk. Zach Bryan, Kendra Scott, and they're the CEO of Teqball. So,
Teqball's an interesting sport.
Yeah.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, they had it at that Major League Pickleball that one time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And like Thomas Wilson went out there and played, and then somebody else did. And they did it at like a halftime of one of the Major League Pickleballs.
Huh.
But it's like soccer ping pong, basically.
That is pretty cool. Have you ever seen highlights of that sport?
Yeah, they're wild.
It's sick. It's unbelievable that people can do that with like their feet and head and chest and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not for me. Did you ever play soccer growing up?
I played like middle school soccer.
Yeah.
I just ran around and nobody would pass me the ball because once I got the ball, I was in trouble.
Yeah. Are you fast?
No, I'm not super fast. I'm pretty quick, and I've got really good endurance. I always played like midfield, and I would just run from end to end.
Yeah, you're like a right winger.
I was a good defender. I could just get in the way of people.
Yeah. Okay. Questions?
Yeah. Yep. So our boy Dinky McDinkmaster, it's said that every player has a weakness or tendency that can be exploited. If I am playing you in a pro event, what's your weakness or weak spot? I'm asking for a friend whose name rhymes with Sven Jans. My weakness, I would say I don't particularly love it when people are speeding up at me. I like to more or less be the initiator and not necessarily a counter puncher. So yeah, it's certainly something that I'm working on. But I can't give away too much. Not too much.
Okay, I know I saw a question.
Yeah, I got a bunch. There's a bunch.
No, I know, but it was someone wanted to know what our intro song is, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. But okay, let's read one of these next questions, and then I'll keep looking it up. All right, I made a Stop Alzheimer's Now donation and wanted to send in a question for the next pod. Oh, that's this one I'm talking about. Okay, never mind that one.
Okay, so this guy Racine, his name is Racine, which I was like weirded out by because I've never heard of somebody who's named Racine. I did a lesson with him a couple weeks ago, and he made a nice donation, and he said, who are the top 3 right side players right now and why? I'll let you do your top 3
Who
first.
are the top right side players right now?
Mm-hmm.
Collin. I guess James. Because he was on the pod, and I'll be nice to him.
That's 2.
Yeah. I don't know. You go.
I'll go Dylan. I think Dylan's number 1 right side player.
Okay.
I mean, he can obviously play the left very well.
Yeah, I guess Collin with Ben specifically.
Collin
right?
with Ben specifically. Yeah. I think Collin with anyone else on the right side player on the right is not a top 3 right side player.
Right.
He fits a very specific mold. Like, he needs a left side player that's very dominant. Like, I think that he's a top 3 right side player, probably in partnerships with Ben, Teqball, Riley.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got the right partner, he's a top 3.
When he's playing 25% of the court.
Possibly, I mean, he possibly in the role that he plays with Ben, he might be the best right side player.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing is, Matt and Ben are playing together this weekend. I wonder if a team of Ben and Matt is better than a team of Ben and Collin. What do you think? Who wins that match?
Ben and Collin. I just think they have their system worked out too well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that a team of Ben and Matt has higher upside, higher volatility. Like, you know exactly what you're going to get. You have the system worked out with Ben and Collin. I
mean, Ben and Matt are going to win.
Not if Zane and Christian have anything to say about that.
That's true. That's true.
So my top 3, I would go Dylan, Collin in certain circumstances. Matt's playing mostly right now, and Riley can be very good on the right. He's a very good dominant right side player. Like, he can play mixed from the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't really answer your question for a definitive top 3, but those are some options for you, Racine.
What about women's?
Women's side, I don't know as many that are
True
specializing
right side,
in right side versus left. I mean, you have to go Vivian David. She's the only one that's like very clearly, I'm a right side player. I do not want my left foot to cross the center line. So she's definitely up there. But a lot more of the women have a lot of experience playing the right side, because most of the time they do play in mix. So it's definitely a harder question for the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't know, because I'm terrible at thinking of names off the top of my head, and I once again did not sleep last night, so not really thinking too sharply. Pass.
Okay.
You already answered.
Racine, we'll have to talk more. Sean McDuffie, Stop Alzheimer's Now founder, asked thoughts on the Ben and Matt doubles team, strength and weaknesses compared to Ben and Collin. And yeah, I think that Matt's a much more offensive right side player, I would say. Collin can play offensively, but seems to more or less choose not to with Ben. Just more volatile, higher upside, higher risk.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Okay, so we did have one question that was, what is your intro/outro song? He's like, I love the 5-second clip so much, and I haven't been able to find the song it came from. We've gotten this a few times. Apparently, people really like this song. Let me play it here really quickly. Let's see. Okay, good podcasting. Yep. Never mind. Okay. It's called Same Time by Spence. But I don't know if you'll even be able to find it on like, let me make sure. Yeah, on like Spotify or anything like that. It was one of those. I mean, it's like one of those songs you like buy the rights to or whatever. So, but yeah, Same Time by Spence. It is a good song. It's very different than what you hear in the intro, though. So, you'll probably be surprised by how it sounds.
I gotta go check it out. I like it.
Okay, is Dinky D? Do we have to do this?
We got another Dinky D.
What would you say the % chance is that Tweener King wins a gold this year? Would be nice to not have to watch him cry every week. That's from Jeremy.
No, that's not from Jeremy. That's from Dinky D, Dinky McDinkmaster. That was
Oh, yeah.
100% chance Tweener King and I win gold.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic because I did yell multiple times at Major League Pickleball Tweener Queen when he missed tweeners.
Yep.
And so I've got to be a much more supportive partner this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's realistic in mixed or in men's for this year. But singles, he's been knocking on the door and has wins over everybody. Right. So stringing several of those together. I don't know if he's made a championship Sunday. I could be wrong. But stringing multiple together is the toughest part about how just deep these competitions are getting. It's no longer like your first couple rounds are gimmies and then you have to win 2 or 3 good matches. It's like, you're playing somebody very good in the round of 16, quarters, semis, and finals. So, percent chance, I would give him a 33% chance of winning a gold medal this year.
In singles.
Yeah. I would give him less than 5% chance in other than if he doesn't get it this weekend, obviously, in men's or mixed.
Yeah. I mean, it always makes for good content when he is on memes of pickleball after a loss. So.
Yep. So
all
we
right.
got Jeremy Rollison just says we need a cure. Agree. So answer or ask your questions. Donate to stopalzheimersnow.org. And you can ask your question. We'll answer anything on the pod. And honestly, you guys can get more ridiculous. You can ask Thomas boxers or briefs. You can ask Thomas out if you want. You can use this as your platform in the name of charity and finding a cure for Alzheimer's.
I'll answer any question besides probably a lot of questions, actually.
No. All right, fine. If you want somebody to answer literally any question, you can ask me whatever you want. I will not hold back. Go for it. So yeah, last thing, we had our sponsor ProXR match our potty mouths. So they made a nice contribution to cover up for my swearing.
Got it. I said corporate match, and I thought it was like everybody who works there playing a match or something. But no, got it. Okay.
They matched my potty mouth.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
Pickle pod. Thanks, James. thanks for being with us, James. Appreciate you. Wow, that's James Ignatowich, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, pickle pod.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, dollar has gone